Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about the time I almost gave up the Philippines and left to go back home. Stick around. Alright guys, so I'm at this beautiful setting. We were just at this beautiful coffee shop called Cicada in Pamplona, Negros Oriental. Now we're at these great waterfalls called Palapay Falls, also in Pamplona. And I just started reflecting back at my time here in the Philippines. And it's going on 7 years. 7 years here. And it brings me back to the beginning of my journey. You know, I was kind of in a down place. I was really actually depressed. I had went through a divorce, and I'm not going to get into all that, but it was kind of messy, and what divorce isn't. But my work was suffering because just my mind wasn't there anymore. Made a few trips out to Southeast Asia, and then ended up getting a job in Cebu. Now, my first couple of years in Cebu, I was actually pretty happy. It was actually towards the end of that time, I started second guessing myself. I started saying, was this the right decision? Is this where I really want to be? Should I go back to the US? Maybe it was just a matter of being in the wrong location in the US. So I started thinking about all these different things. And at the time, I was probably working about 50 hours a week at the school. And then I was also doing some online teaching too. So my time was very limited. And I think that had a lot to do with it. But it was right about this time where I started second guessing myself. I said, you know, was this the right decision? Or maybe I should stay in Southeast Asia, but just be at a different location. And at that point, I decided to go try Vietnam. And that's when I went to Vietnam for 6 months. And I enjoyed Vietnam immensely, but the language was a bit of a problem. It wasn't a problem as like I had no problem getting around and always finding somebody who spoke enough English where I could get the point across. But even at the 6-month mark in Vietnam, that's when I started to think, I miss the friendliness of the Filipinos. They're so fun, and they just have like a joy in their life. It's like in the worst situations, they always have a smile on their face. Even at that point, though, at the 6-month mark, I decided in Vietnam I would go back to the Philippines. I kind of reset everything, you know, and I went back with more of an open mind. I knew how things worked, and I reevaluated the Philippines. This time I tried out new places. I went all the way from Makati to Angeles to back to Cebu to Davao to General Santos to Cagayan de Oro to Bohol, Dumaguete. I went to all these locations, spent time hopping around, Airbnb-ing it, no leases, and that's when I decided, you know, the Philippines really is for me. It really is. But there was a time in my life, right about a little bit after 2 years, where I really came to a fork in the road where I said, okay, I'm either going to go down this road and I'm going to commit to stay in Asia. Because once you're here a certain amount of time and you've let go of all your stuff in the West, your car, your insurance, your house, your belongings, it really can be quite expensive to reestablish yourself again in the West. Or I go down this other road and I chalk this up as a great experience, and I go back and live out the rest of my days in the West. And I think every foreigner at some point, if they move out here to Southeast Asia, they're going to come to that fork in the road where they either start second guessing, or they say, okay, I'm past the point of no return. I'm committed. I'm staying. This is where I'm going to be at. And by the way, guys, if you want more videos and videos that you haven't seen before. I've got 80 plus videos on my patreon.com/Geo in the Philippines. You can check that out. There's varying memberships. Each membership comes with different options like a free coffee mug, t-shirt, free consultations, and much more. Also, under any of my YouTube videos, you can join my YouTube membership by simply clicking the join button under any of those videos and selecting which membership you would like for additional content and benefits as well. So back to the video. I'm past that point. I've already at that point in my life now, especially after 6 years, where I've said, this is where I'm going to live out the rest of my days. Unless something in my life happened where my health turned completely around, where I just became quite ill, and I felt I couldn't get the proper medical care here, that's probably the only time that I would go back to the US to move. Now, obviously, I've got a trip planned out again this summer. Maya and I are still going to travel around immensely. We love it. And even eventually, I would like to take her to the US. But that's once we have quite a few trips, you know, down the road. But yeah, it's not always rainbows and glitter out here in the Philippines. You know, you do at some point, earlier on for some people, later for others, get to this point where you're just maybe fed up of the way they do things here. You're frustrated, or you've accepted things. And if you're really frustrated, that's where some people finally throw in the towel and say, okay, we're heading back. I think most people would agree that Filipinas really are one of the greatest women, women out there as far as lifelong partners. But the Philippines itself, as far as a place to live, now that's a different story. I think if you took the Filipino women out of the equation, and people were being more honest, Philippines probably wouldn't be as highly rated as a place to live. I'm just being honest. There's a lot of endearing things about the Philippines that I absolutely love. I mean, one is this, like behind me. I mean, you can't see it fully on, but there's these beautiful waterfalls behind me. We're just hanging out today. We went to this beautiful coffee shop with a view. You can check that out on Maya's Philippines Life channel, my girlfriend's channel. Highly suggest you subscribe and check her channel out for more content. I'm in a lot of her videos as well. So, but yeah, you know, people are going to get to that point here in the Philippines. They will get to that point where they say, you know what, this ain't for me, or they accept it. And so when you come out here, you really got to have an open mind. And this is why I tell people, make as many trips out here as you can without committing. Don't start selling off everything immediately. Make sure you're really sure about it before you've sold your car, you've sold your house. You know, the smart guys are usually the ones who've rented out their place maybe for a year or something back home, and maybe had a friend keep their car and just start it up for them once in a while, kept their stuff in storage, things like that, before they've decided. You know, they come out here, they live here for a little bit, and then they say, okay, this is it, this is for me. I can go back home, I'll sell my home, or I'll keep it for rent, or get rid of my clothes, I'll sell the car, I'm committing. Those are the smart guys, I think. I probably wasn't so smart at the very beginning. I didn't really have a car, I didn't have my stuff, I got rid of all that. Just food for thought. A lot of people think, you know, Gio, you've been here over 6 years, you must absolutely love it. And I do at this point in my life, I really do. But people probably don't realize that there was a time that I was very close to throwing in the towel and saying, you know what, I gave it a shot out here. I think I'm going to go back to the U.S. There was a time. By the way, before I end this video, guys, check out my geointhephilippines.com website. There's a lot of information about the Philippines in my blogs. You can book a consultation. You can check out my Geo Essentials page, where all those items that I highly recommend for a trip out here or moving out here are listed. Those are all items I personally use myself. Check it out. And if you need to contact me, you can contact me through my webpage as well. If you're coming out and you're going to be in the Dumaguete area and you want to meet up for a coffee, send me a message. Give me a little bit of notice, and I will do my best. So guys, I appreciate you watching, but I'm going to go back and enjoy some more swimming. Enjoy the day and enjoy the Philippines. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Let's take it real